A very good morning to you all on this Christmas morning. It's a wonderful day to begin with, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the students who are present here to be a part of our initiative, to be a part of Sir's idea, our idea that we were working very strongly on to build into a big one in the future. So, Hirigang Academy is very delighted to host this session on what after BCom, which is a question that most of you would have had before you joined the course. Most of you are still having while you're pursuing this course, and most of you will have even after you graduate the course. So, as opposed to a lot of options that people are usually aware of in other streams of education, commerce has been, a topic of contention that Sir will be trying to address today. That you can do with what you can and what you could do really, really good with, with commerce as your graduation domain. So before we begin off with the session, I'd like to take a small moment to introduce the academy to you all. So, Hiriganga Academy began its operations in 2014 as an employability and knowledge initiative, expressly benefiting through the knowledge and experience of our founder, C. Madhukar and Hirigange. The academy has done a lot of strides and prides itself, over training 1,300 students and professionals in the past 7 years of its existence in various capacities under indirect taxes as the major domain. I got a unique opportunity to work with Sir a year and a half back. So I'm really grateful to Sir. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank him for giving me the chance to work with him on the academy as well. So we we do a lot of training programs on indirect taxes, specifically student oriented, corporate oriented, capacity building. All of the programs are a part of our forte, and we are willing to we're working towards building it into a bigger institution where every commerce student, he can definitely find a solution with us regarding his employability skills and even his capacity building and knowledge skills. So that's about Hirigang Academy. And before Sir takes over, I'd also like to introduce Sir to you. CM Madhukar and Hirigange, senior partner at Hirigange and Associates, is a name that rings with ethics, integrity, and professionalism in the CA fraternity in India. Madhukar Sir has conducted more than 1,500 value-added indirect tax review audits, focusing on building processes to prevent and correct non-compliances while adding value. He is an active author and has written 18 books on pre-GST regime and 10 books on the GST regime currently. He has encouraged and fostered 130 plus leading professionals in the industry to take up ethical practice in indirect taxes. He spends his time actively spreading awareness through articles and workshops, both physical and online. He was a Central Council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the terms 2010 to 13 and 2016 19, and he has earned the title of Conscience Keeper of the Council. As chairman of the Indirect Taxes Committee, he led a wonderful team and supported the government in the implementation of GST in 2016 and 19. Additionally, he was a member of the Board of Studies and the Vice Chairman of the Board of Studies of the ICAI in 2012 and the remaining terms. He is involved in efforts to make the indirect tax laws in India simple, certain, and fair, and creating an awareness of the potential of knowledge of indirect taxes in India. As a managing trustee of the Empower Education Foundation, he has supported the education of about 1,300 lesser privileged students in the past 15 years. In 2014, he founded the Hirigange Academy to fuel his vision of employability and knowledge initiatives, which has served over 4,000 learners to enhance their capability mainly in indirect taxes. He very strongly believes in value-based practice in life. Sir, it's a pleasure for me to have you here. And on behalf of everybody who's present here and myself, I would love to extend my warm welcome to you, and I would request you to kindly begin the deliberation today. Sir, I'll mute you, please. So you're muted, sir. You're muted. Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir. If any participant can also confirm the same, it will be wonderful. Please post in the chat if the participants are able to hear, sir. Yes, yes, sir. You're audible to all of us.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for a nice introduction. Today, the idea which came was that in the Rotary, there are many initiatives related to education, and I was invited a couple of weeks back for a physical session. And then I said, why not do it online so that we can extend the learning, if any, to the people who are interested in this subject. So again, welcome to the students and the teachers, if any, who are the people who are transforming our lives and who have, at least in my case, transformed my life quite a lot. So we will look at the coverage today, which is we all have dreams, but we have to also be very clear on the reality, and the route to success does not really depend on the wonderful education one has got. One can educate oneself. I have known a lot of people who have come from government schools in India who are the top of the profession today. Even though they may not be as old as me, they are all there. We'll also understand what is going to happen tomorrow. This is a very disruptive time. And while there are a lot of challenges, there are also immense possibilities. And therefore, the areas where jobs are available have changed a bit. It is not the same for the BCom. Much more has come. Some of it I will touch on. Very importantly, every student needs to skill himself or herself right from the beginning. So if you're doing BCom or you just finished BCom, remember online enough skilling courses are there. Look at the top skills which are required and then go for it. BCom alone may not give us our best possible capability building. Maybe we require some courses, some certifications, and maybe even some PGs, postgraduate programs, professional courses to reach our goals. We'll also look at how we can apply what we have learned in making ourselves better citizens, growing all the time. So when we start, I would like you to imagine or remember who are the role models we all have, and they are there everywhere. Within your family, within your relatives, you'll have some role models. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they are educated fully or not. Who are the role models? What is it that they have taught us, which has remained with us? Family is very important. Your parents, your other relatives, even your brothers, sisters. Teachers, I think, make a profound difference in everybody's life. It depends what we want to take from them. Businessmen who have done well, you can imagine who are the great businessmen of India, whether it is Ambani or Jamshedji Tata, Mahindra, whoever it is, maybe the local businessmen also who have done well, contributed to create wealth in this wonderful country we are all living in. Also, the professionals, you might have come in touch with some professionals. They may be doctors, actors, chartered accountants, lawyers, who are all of us can copy from. We can learn from them. Today is a date of innovation, creative thinking, and you have scores of it. India is on the way to become the startup capital of the world. Already we are number 2. So we may, in due course of time, become the startup capital thanks to the focus on startups which has been done by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. You could also look at movie stars. It's not that movie stars become movie stars just like that. They have to put in immense amount of effort to keep themselves fit, learn new skills. They even live with the type of character they have to depict for some time to bring reality to us. The billionaires of the world. There are large number of billionaires in India. But there are today the world is your canvas, not only India. You have Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, you have Elon Musk. Any of them you Google, you will get their autobiography, and we can learn from them. I make it a point to listen to at least one autobiography in a week. Really, out of that, whatever I hear, I can get something good. Athletes have always been an area where we can really look at them. You saw the javelin thrower from India. You have seen the people who are in the Paralympics in India. India does especially well. Maybe we have more people who have problems with their physical abilities. Any one of them could be our role model. So you can have maybe 10 role models, 5 role models, and each of them will have one characteristic which you can look at. The point which you should possibly look at the time when you look at role models is what is the differentiation? What do all these people you admire, what is it that they have in common? That is something which may be of great value to you, because that is what I think each one of us needs to go after, focus on, imbibe in ourselves. Just to bring some perspective uh, to myself. You heard that I have written so many books and I have risen to the top of the profession. But what was the past? I went to various schools in India. I was in Delhi, I was in Calcutta, I was in Bihar, Patna. Then, of course, major portion of my studies were in Bangalore after my 9th standard, St. Joseph's Boys High School. And this particular school made a huge transformation in my life. Till then, I was very poor in games, very poor in studies. The only thing which I used to do well was I would eat well. I could eat 20 chapatis for lunch and still feel hungry by tea time. Maybe my metabolism was very good, but other than that, academically, I had not done well. I had failed in chemistry till 1975. 75, I joined St. Joseph's Boys High School. And in that 2 years, 9th and 10th, I maxed in the final exam of the government ICSE. That is, in chemistry, I got 100. Until 75, I had failed consistently. So how did this happen? This happened because the principal of the school, Edwig DeCosta, he took me as an experiment to work on, and he was amazing. Long story is there. If anybody wants to know about it, maybe you can Google my story in CA. CA is, you can put my story, Madhukar and Hiregange, and you will get the whole story of my life. Not whole, but I also failed in CA 4 times. But today I run a firm which has 60 plus CAs. I have 18 partners, and we are known to be as good as the big four, that is the international firms. In 2017, I shared the dais with Arun Jaitley, late Arun Jaitley, who was then the finance minister, and he acknowledged me for the GST contribution to the country. I have jointly authored 29 books in indirect taxes. In the last 20 years, not 20, maybe 15 years, others write the books. I only look at the index and the final editing. I also created 200 committed professional leaders, some of them in our firm, some of them outside. This has been my story in spite of not doing too well in academics in the starting. So you don't know. The day you decide to do something, your life will transform. All of us, every one of you is having a dream. But what happens many times, dreams are only in the mind. What is needed is that you should make your wish into a goal, and that goal should be written down. You should write down the goal. Next to the goal, you possibly have to write down at least 6 reasons why you want the goal to be there. This is very, very important to keep the goal alive when you go through adverse situations. Then you should also make a note, what is that attitude or skill which you need to reach that goal? So once you know this is the attitude, I require more discipline, I require concentration. Everything can be learned on Google. All you have to do is there are all free courses available. There are hundreds of wonderful speakers who can tell us what exactly we can do. Very importantly in our life, everything has a timeline, unfortunately. We come into this world, some of us live for shorter time, some of us longer time. But everybody has only 24 hours. So how is it that somebody does better? They plan for it. Therefore, whatever focus you want, you have to give time for that particular focus. One very important aspect which is there for all of us to know is that academically we may be in different levels. Maybe it is because of our background, maybe it is because of some decisions we have made about ourselves. When we come into this world, we are equal to everybody. But over a period of time, we make decisions. If you're looking at deciding where to go in your career, maybe you have to self-evaluate and look at where you are. Are you good in your academics? You do excellently in exams, or you do above average, or you are average. None of them is wrong, please understand. But knowing where you are and seeing how much you can how much you can stretch is something which we have to understand before we decide on our career. For example, if you say that I want to join the IIMs, wonderful dream. But there is an exam which is pretty tough. And if nothing wrong in trying it out, anybody can try it out. But if you are not at all there when the results come, maybe you have to look at an alternative. MBA is not the only way to reach the pinnacle of whatever area you are pursuing. Next, reality is that in India, all of us do not have the same financial strength. Some of us may be lucky to be born into wealthy families. We may be lucky to be born into average families where the parents are very, very keen to ensure that they support our education. Sometimes there may be challenges. Therefore, that also is very important to decide which course to follow after BCom. Remember that one of the important things for us is failure is not something which is bad. In fact, I would say if I look at my life, if I look at the life of Michael Jordan, who was a famous football player, Einstein, I look at anybody who has achieved well in life, Elon Musk, anywhere you see, they know how to deal with failure. All of them have had multiple failures. The higher they have risen, the more number of failures they would have had. But they know how to deal with failure. They don't quit. They look at what they have learned from their failure and go on. One very important aspect in today's life is we have to be aligned to the technology which is changing so fast. This was not a problem in my early days, but now I'm seeing technology can replace us. And therefore, we should have technology along with us. We should keep on improving our technological skills. And this can be done on your own, in your free time, weekends, whenever you want, or go for a good course in technology. Remember today, for all of us, India is not the only limit. We can go anywhere in the world. You can get a job with Amazon, with Google, with Oracle, sitting in your small town in India. Because work from home is a way. If you're capable, if you're good, people will take you and you will be earning international salaries while sitting in your own hometown. Let's look at some of the areas where possibly you can examine, I would say. Today, data analysis has become very big. You know how the Google is able to make out what is it you like. For example, if you put on Google hotels near me, it will not only show you the hotels near to where you are, it will also show you hotels which you prefer. If you are a non-vegetarian, it will show you non-vegetarian hotels. If you are, more inclined towards idli dosa, like people like us, Then it will show you the best idli dosa joints nearby. How does Google know? What about Amazon? Everywhere you go and search for Amazon, it prompts you. How does it prompt you? It already has a lot of idea about where you are. And therefore, data analysis has become one of the largest area. It not only comes for these e-commerce platforms, it also is useful for doing any work in commerce. First of all, being in commerce, you may be reasonably good with numbers. And therefore, analysis of numbers is something which can help you in anything. For example, you want to do internal audit of a company, you want to advise a company, you want to uh, do projections, you want to do valuation. Everywhere data analysis comes in as very, very important. You want to fight a case. Wherever you see data is being analyzed in terrific number of ways. You have something called artificial intelligence, which you must have heard of, which today is the focus. Internet of Things, they say. In all these areas, you require data analysis. You also know that today, the company which has an average product, which does wonderful marketing, can get much more orders, even if their product is not very good. Like I would like to take the example of Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up, which are basically harmful beverages. They have nothing good in them at all. Zero use. Water is far better. But what happens? We know their names and we also tend to use them because of the wonderful marketing which they do. Therefore, this is an area which has become a very big area for anybody with a commerce background because you understand a bit of business. Marketing can be the goal for many. Remember, once there is a market, somebody can be found to manufacture it. Somebody can be found to distribute it. Somebody can be found, maybe a platform itself can be there through which you can sell. But getting the mind share, what they say, eye of the consumer is most important. And that's where marketing, the digital marketing has become one very big opportunity for all the all the people who are there, not only in BCom, in other areas also. But BCom students will have a slight advantage. You have heard of fintech companies, the unicorns of India, the Paytm. You're seeing the type of valuations they have, billions. How are they doing that? They have combined finance and technology, and then they deliver so many solutions. These are also the future of the world, where a lot of work is happening and will continue to happen at least in the next 10, 20 years. You are also seeing that getting money is very difficult. But if we know where we have to go for the money, whether we have to go to the bank, we have to go to our relatives, is that the only way? Certainly not. You can get money from very many sources. You would have heard of crowdfunding. People put up a good project and they get funded on the net itself. And also there are huge amount of funds. In India, we are expecting to attract $100 billion in the next few years itself every year for funding the various businesses which are coming up. Out of that 100, let me tell you, 60% will be for all these new age companies, not for the old traditional factories, etc. Therefore, investment banking, wealth management has become another area where commerce students can make a wonderful life. Remember, the salaries, sky is the limit. You may yourself be able to start off with, if you have a small idea which caters to a large number of people's requirement. E-commerce has taken over the world. You see all the small traders and all going out of business because of the Amazon. Is Amazon the best company in the world? It is certainly not. It has destroyed the retailers. However, The opportunity to work for Amazon is something which is amazing. My son-in-law worked for Amazon for a few years, and I remember when he joined Amazon, they gave him 2 crore rupees for joining fee because he was good at something. They called him. Of course, he's a software engineer with a management background. When I look at the other area, which is basic to everything, today people are most important. For example, the human resource, how to see that the people who work for you or work in a particular company work in the culture of the company, work to see that what they can contribute is maximized. It requires a large amount of training and knowledge. There is where a huge market is there. You look at Baiju. Baiju is what? Do they have any money? Do they make profit? The answer is no. Even today, they don't make profit. They are bleeding. But where are they? They are in billions of dollars of valuation. The person who started Baiju will very soon overtake the Birlas, the Tatas, and also the Ambanis of India. This is what is expected because that is the area where it is people. So HR is a wonderful area to be in, and you can rise there to whatever extent. I remember long back, maybe 20 years back, in Infosys, they had a director for human resources. And I was just examining at that time, why do you require a director level person for that? When I made some inquiries, I came to know that the director of human resources was second only to the chairman and managing director, Narayan Murthy, at that time. This was an eye opener for me that such a lot of focus people are putting on people, how to recruit the right people, how to train them to give their best, how to retain them. This has become a very big area in the world. You know that you have been hearing that there is a climate change happening, the oceans are rising, temperatures are going up. You see, wherever you are staying, that the weather has changed today. For whatever reason, maybe cutting of forests, too much of concrete, concentration, we are misusing the resources of the earth. Maybe we are doing too much mining. Therefore, there is the concerted move, and India is part of that concerted move to see that we reduce pollution. And we try to look at energy which is renewable. The sun is the biggest source for all of us. Today, all our electricity needs are met by the service providers in power sector. They're charging us approximately for our residential purposes, they charge us 7 to 10 rupees, and for our commercial purposes, they charge us more per unit. Whereas the cost of generating energy from the sun is just 2 rupees. So where should we go? For bringing down the cost also, we should go to that area, and also because it is environment friendly. The area of medical, you'll be surprised, is something health sector and the pharma sector is a very big sector in the world. Now with this corona coming, or you look at the health, the cardiac hospitals, how many cardiac hospitals you have in your town or city, and what sort of earnings those hospitals have, the doctors who work in those places or affiliated to them, they make, is amazing. Now, even for these type of institutions, there is a need for lot of analysis to be done, lot of research to be done, and you need not be only a doctor to look at it. The research and development part of medicine, you may not be able to go in, but you can go in many other areas. Health and medical sector is also one of the great areas for a commerce graduate. If I look at self-employment, now one aspect which I thought I should tell you is we can look at our own character. What type of character we have, what sort of financial struggle we can put up, or what sort of financial safety we have, and then look at self-employment. For example, if you look at the easiest and the most numerous accounting services throughout the world can get centered in India. Already it has started flowing. Most of the call centers, you talk about Accenture, you talked about Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they are all doing the accounts. They just don't do accounts, obviously. They do a lot of what I would say customized type of working. For example, if the client is based in Australia, I will look at what all standards are applicable in Australia, learn them, and then I keep accounts which are compliant with Australian standards. They may not be the same as European standards, which may not be the same as the US standards. So I have to learn all those specific things, and not that you have to get a certificate for that, you have to learn it, and then you can account for anybody in the world. There are so many large corporates now in the ITES sector, that is IT enabled service sector, where advisory, accounting, legal advice is all being given by the companies in India. The business process outsourcing, the knowledge process outsourcing can be done by India for the rest of the world. What was done in software 20 years back by the Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, earlier Satyam, all of them have put India on the map for giving services. And you have observed that all the people who work in that area are earning very well. A BCom also can, with additional certifications, get into the area of IT easily. Outsourcing is something which is also happening. For example, you have the payroll outsourcing of many parts of the world. The Japan company will find its own outsourcing. If it does it in Japan, it will cost them, say, 100 rupees or $100. But if they give it to India, it costs them $30. Why should they get it done elsewhere? They also want to make profit. So as long as the quality is good, they'll outsource it. So outsourcing areas are huge in India, and they are there in human resource, accounting, compliances of the laws of various countries, support for doing various types of administrative functions, front desk, customer, getting the customer, every area of what I would say operations, they have some amount of administrative work which is there. And India is the call center of the world. When I say call center of the world, does it mean that every place in the world is being serviced by us? No. But many of the English speaking areas, we are dominant. Tax filing itself, you'll be surprised. Tax filing is done by various large corporates now. If you look at our own area of income tax, or you look at GST, you have companies like ClearTax who are doing the filing at a fraction of the cost which others used to do earlier. How are they able to do it? They are using software, they are updating the software, and they are using technology to reduce time. So if I were to file a tax return of GST, after I get the information, it may take me 2 hours or half a day, depending on the volume of data, or even more time. Whereas if a computer is there, as long as the data is coming in the form which it requires, it can do the same job in 5 minutes. Then there are a lot of other courses, professional courses. There are courses like CA, which I am. There can be ACCA. ACCA is a poor cousin of ICAI. That means that it's not as good as ICAI, but it is expensive. So those of you who can afford can even go for ACCA, because ACCA qualification is recognized throughout the world. Of course, the ICAI recognition also is throughout the world. Sometimes you have to do a course in that particular country. For example, if you have done the CA course in India and you go to US, or you want to go to US, you can do CPA. And do you have to go to US to do it? No. In your city nearby, you will have a CPA course available, and you can write the exam. If you pass CA, CPA is so easy. Weekend course, we call it. That means in the weekend you can study and pass, even if you're working. CA is difficult if you're working, other than the articles training which you are doing. CMA is where they look at management accounting, costing, and this is also a profession which is available. Then you have the company secretary, compliances. One area which very important today for many of us, for example, I have done my DISA and I've also done CISA. DISA is Diploma in Information Systems Audit, which is done by the CA Institute in India. And CISA is an international qualification, which is Certified Information Systems Auditor of US. So there are many other courses, forensics, etc. There are huge number of courses in the IT field, and I would encourage you to look at those areas if you're looking at self-employment or even career, because the forensic auditor today, if I finish my forensic today as any of these professionals, I'm a cost accountant, company secretary, or a chartered accountant, and I have done forensics, I will get an immediate placement somewhere in the world. Maybe not be in India, but somewhere else. I may still work from India if work from home is there. Otherwise, I could go somewhere else. India is also the birthplace. We have crores of people who can become entrepreneurs. That means you can have your own business. And for a commerce student, it becomes much easier. You have to understand where to get the funds. What is it that you need to make yourself or your enterprise successful? That could be an area which you can look at. Health. Health doesn't mean only being a doctor. There is a whole set of diagnostic services which are there. The setting up of all these, supporting all of this, advising all of them, that can be an area of immense place. The insurance, which is useful for health. The health insurance market is so big in the world. India has not even come to 10% of the world's average. This is an area where large amount of growth is expected. That is in the health insurance sector. So the insurance part of it is only accounting and other services, and therefore a BCom can get into any of these areas. You also have seen nowadays that many of us have so much of what I would say addiction almost to the mobile. That is because of the type of entertainment which comes. The entertainment you like, you can get immersed in it 24 hours of the day. Is it good to do that? No, certainly not. In fact, the biggest disease in the world today is not corona. It is not heart attack. It is addiction to them. And there are so many courses. Thousands of courses have been offered. How we can use the mobile to our advantage rather than become a slave to it. Even it intrudes into our studies, intrudes into all the areas which we focus. If we cannot control that, then success may not be so easy for us. However, the other side of it is, why is it so addictive? Why is it that billions of dollars are being poured into entertainment? It is because this is a state of life. This is an area, social media, entertainment is an area where there is what I would say, huge potential for getting employment, for doing jobs. You can, once you are an expert at something, you are good at something which can support some activities in any of the areas which we have spoken about, you can get picked up. Education. You can be in education. Education need not be limited to, the schools where you teach. Education nowadays has become so open. In fact, a few years back, some of the CAs who were in education, just singly, they were earning 2 crore rupees. Singly, no institution, nothing. One teacher, he was earning 2 crores a year. Now, of course, because of technology, because of COVID, I think the earnings may have come down. But there is unlimited earning and also the satisfaction of creating leaders, sharing, and what a reward it is. For example, when I go for giving lectures in different parts of India on indirect taxes, there are many times people come and touch my feet. Students who come and touch my feet saying, sir, I heard you in this online lecture, or you had come to Calcutta, I heard you there, or you had come to Chennai, I heard you there, and that day you made a profound difference in my life. Education is a wonderful area. Energy, we have talked about earlier also. Remember, whatever profession is there for career is always there for you as a freelancer or being self-employed. Law is an area where mostly people are self-employed, the advocates. Now we see in many of the courts, advocates are doing work at pittance, but there are other advocates whom all of us look out for. For example, I at least hear 3 videos of exemplary advocates to enhance my own learning. And these are all people who are also doing very well financially. While they are contributing to the development of the law, they are teaching and also ensuring that people get justice. In India, unfortunately, the laws are good, but the administration is very poor, because of which many times we have to go to the courts and get justice. That is where the legal people come in. Remember, legal people don't only go to courts. They can sit in the chamber and practice in various areas. Weights and measures is there. In any area where anything which has a law, anything which is regulated. For example, administrative law is there. Then you have laws for transportation. You have laws for drugs manufacturing. You can specialize in any of them or a bunch of them. Patents have become very important. Intellectual property has become very important in the last 20 years. These areas of law are taught not only by the National Law School, etc., but also by many of the universities. And I see that this is an area of tremendous growth, and getting through the basic law exam is very easy. Say I am not intellectually or I am academically very good, great, but I can easily do law. If I have to do law through National Law School, I might have to be in the top bracket, but otherwise I can do law. Then by my experience and sincerity, hard work, then I can be unbeatable in this world. So self-employment, I have just given you a few thought processes. This is not the end of self-employment. Nowadays you have Google. I'm only trying to create an interest and throw up a few possible areas where you may be interested. If you're interested, go further, understand what it is, what it takes, how much it costs, how many years I have to do. When can I start earning reasonably? It all also depends on where you are coming from. Is there a need for you to earn immediately? Is there something where you can spend some time, your family can support you till you finish your education? Depending on that, you can choose the areas. Very, very important segment, which I think I'm going to spend a little time on, which is skills which are required. Now, is this list the total list? No, it is not. But the first skill I would say which is important for each and every student and each and every teacher and each and every professional, each and every entrepreneur, each and every person who has got a job as a manager, as a CFO, as a CEO, listening. Very, very important. How do you listen? Do you listen by saying, okay, I already know all this? Or do you listen for understanding? Can I understand something more than already what I know? This is especially important for students. Open listening without disturbance. So you can't have songs, jarring songs happening in the background. You cannot have the TV on, or you cannot have, a video running when you are doing any studies. Your mobile has to be switched off. You should be totally focused towards listening. Many times, the difference between a good consultant and an excellent consultant is only listening. How well you listen to what is being said, how well you can make out what is not being said, all these become very important. Next is, I would say, reading and comprehension. All of us are students, so we have to learn to read properly. and understand. Many times we don't understand what we read. So what are we supposed to do? Then you have to understand why is it that you're not understanding. Maybe the teacher can come in useful. Sometimes Google itself is good enough. Sometimes rereading is useful. If you are not understood some of the words, your vocabulary can become very important. This is something which is almost, I would say, common to anybody who is a student, whether of engineering, medicine, or commerce. Everywhere this comes. The next is the point of self-motivation. There is no doubt this every one of us, Ramanujam, Abdul Kalam, Modi, Madhukar, you, all of us have times when something goes wrong. We may fail, or we may simply get demotivated because of the environment, because of something somebody said. But self-motivation is a way of looking at it. For example, my father was a rank student, and you know what my background was. I was very poor in academics. So when I told him that I want to do CA, he told me better you do the bank exam and join the bank because you are not academically inclined. This is what he told me. Very depressing, right? Today's parents will possibly not say that. They'll say, okay, you try. But in the past, did he say that because he didn't like me? He was concerned with me. He wanted me to succeed. So he was giving me his advice from his experience. Whereas I took it as a challenge. That became a motivation. I will show my father that I can finish CA. I had some difficulty. But the day I passed CA and told him, I could see the joy in his eyes. The fact that he had told me, maybe since 5 years back or 6 years before that, that I cannot do CA. Better I go for something else. But he had so much pride in his eyes when I finished my CA, right? So whatever is said by somebody can be used in a way to ignite you. Take it as a challenge. There is one very, very important way of living life, which I would like to explain. And this is what I teach my office, my partners, my leaders in my office, and also the general world. All of you know how to Google. You can Google working above the line, working above the line dash images. You will get some panels. There you will come to know that whatever is happening in your life, you can look at it in two different ways. You can look at it above the line, or you can look at it below the line. If you look at those images, you will find below the line is blaming somebody for it, denying it, not taking any action, giving excuses, complaining about things. These are all below the line working. Now we can choose to do that, but that will be a disempowered life. We will be living a life of victims. Whereas you have a choice. Every one of us has a choice of working above the line. Working above the line is taking responsibility for it, being accountable for it, looking at empowering alternatives. I will not say too much on this. You can do this as a part of your homework. And this is useful for life long. For your studies, it's useful. For your careers, it's useful. For your self-employment, it is useful. And it is just such a simple concept. What is happening outside you, you cannot control. What is the way I respond to what is happening outside me, I can control. And if you use this Google Sheet, it's not actually a Google Sheet. So many people have put these images of the choice you have. And once you take the right empowering choice, then nothing can stop you. Many of us in life, I always feel, many people ask me, Madhukar sir, you say that you are not a great student. You didn't do, you are not extremely hardworking also. I was hardworking to some extent. For example, I don't like to work late at all. In the initial parts of my practice, I used to work only up to 5:30, 8:30 to 5:30. Then I started the involvement in contribution through Rotary and for education. Then I made it 6:30. Even today, I don't work beyond that. Of course, sitting at home, that timing has gone, but the total amount of time I spent for work never exceeds 7-8 hours every day. I might do something else. I might watch a documentary. I might watch a movie. I may play some small online game. But very, very importantly is I am doing something and moving towards something. I have decided that I will do something. For example, in my life, I have decided that I will touch each and every person positively. So if, like Raja said, that he came in contact with me, after he came in contact with me, possibly he has got some value addition by which he will improve his life. That is what is my life goal. Not only Raja, anybody. When I come in the other day, I was coming from office, I was coming home, which is a very short drive. I had taken a Uber. There was a driver there. And I asked him, where are you from? He said, I'm from Hubli, sir, this, that, and all. I asked him, what did you do? Have you studied? Are you married? What are you doing with your children's education? In that short trip, 15-minute trip, I was able to share something with him. And he had such a big smile on his face when I got up. He said, hardly anybody talks to us, sir, and you've given me so much of thought process. I'm really grateful to you. This is what he said. He is just a driver, after all. But what is it? Is it bad to be a driver? No. But he also can grow if he wants. In fact, many of the drivers I say, you have the best opportunities in this world to study. Because in between drives, long periods are there. It's not that auto driver or a cab driver is occupied all the time. He can keep some book. He can even complete an entire course in 1 year sitting in his car, waiting for the right decision making. Therefore, is very important. Don't postpone decision making in your life. Are all decisions which you make good? May not be. You may make a decision. I have made hundreds of mistakes in my life, but it's okay. I looked at it as okay. I learned something from this mistake. For a few days, I feel bad. After that, I look at what I got in that. Then I make one more decision. Now I'm going to do this. I'll give you a thought process on what it is called. What is said is you can look at anything, accept it, and learn from it, and grow from it. That's all. So adversities are part of life, but decision making is very important. Don't postpone decision making. Communication and presentation. Unfortunately, in today's world, it is a materialistic world. People see what you say. Your English is very good. It pays you. If you're in a career, it will give you 20% more salary if you can communicate and present well. Even if your knowledge is little less, it doesn't matter. So therefore, knowing how to communicate, what words to use, how to communicate. Are you talking positively? If you talk negatively, if I blame somebody when I go for an interview, I'm sure to fail that interview because I am working below the line and the interviewer does not like these type of people. Client focus. When I say client focus, it depends on whoever it is. It can be employer focus, client focus. When somebody is paying something to me for an assignment or for as a salary, then they are our annadatas. And therefore, having a focus towards what is good for them is something good, something which is an amazing quality. And if you focus on that, you will see success following you everywhere. What are the skills which are specific today which can help you even more? People management is becoming the most important thing. Service orientation. Service orientation means I should not think, that okay, I am somebody who is useful to others, so they have to come to. I have to always think anybody who comes to me gives me an opportunity to grow and earn. I should be grateful to them. Or versatility. What is versatility? Versatility is example in my life. I'll tell you. When I was in CA, we did not have central excise indirect tax as our curriculum. It only came after I finished my CA some 33 years back. So when I came out of CA, I was an average CA. Remember, passed late also. And when I looked at people, they were far ahead of me. They were so smart, academically very good. So did it mean that I had to be a failure? No. I knew what was my constraint. I picked up central excise. I did not know what central excise was till I finished my CA. But today, I, I have created capacities of more than 150,000 people in India for taking up jobs in GST and indirect taxes. I became something like a father of GST, father of service tax, father of central excise education in India. How was that? Is it that I have become brilliant now? No. I was versatile. I was willing to learn new things. And that is what CA also gives. Subjects which you don't like also you can write. You have to pass that exam if you want to become a CA. So when you can learn subjects you don't like, then what will happen to subjects which you like? The next one, very important, is that many of us think think in a very limited way. If you think in an open way, you use common sense. Common sense, is it something which is there in our blood? No, sorry. Every skill I have talked about can be learned. Maybe you have got some genetic advantage, that's all, at most. Problem solving. Well, how does the problem solving skill come? If you Google, you will come to know how you can increase your problem solving skills. Critical thinking, thinking out of the box, thinking about alternatives, looking at it, looking at a certain problem from different angles. This is something which any human being can do, but you might have to learn to do it. You don't have to go for a college. You have small courses which can help you in doing this. Certifications are very, very important as time goes. BCom is not sufficient. If you want to get into bank, you have to do diploma in banking. You can do, if you want to go into, risk management, asset management company, angel investors, uh, fintech company, you might require to get more certifications in those areas. Information technology, I would say, is one area which I feel every BCom has to look at. Look at one or two areas where you can strengthen yourself and say, I have done a course in this particular information systems. I have done a course. It may be Java, it may be some language, it may be application, it may be forensics. If you put it, there must be some 10,000 courses in this, which even if you Google, which are the most useful jobs or which are the best paying jobs today for a commerce graduate with information technology knowledge. You Google it and you'll come to know what all is there. Then choose the one you like. Insurance, I told you, insurance is a very big area in the world. And in many countries, insurance is very high. And there's a lot of money spent on that, either in assessing the risk, in issuing the policy, fixing the insurance premium, claims processing. Huge amount of work is there in insurance. You could look at specializing in insurance also. You could also look at business accounts and taxation. Today you have QuickBooks, you have Microsoft ERP, you have Tally, which many of you know, but Tally and all is for the smaller businessmen and the medium sector businessmen. Of course, Tally is also growing. There's a Tally ERP also there. You can learn all those also. Taxation, the area which I am there. I am there only in indirect tax, and we have got 300 people in India who are working only on this area, and we don't have to get into any area as of now. Of course, with what we are seeing in future, many of the jobs I am providing today, services I am providing today, will get automated. Therefore, we are also focusing on how we can use technology to provide our services in a shorter time, at a lower cost, and fast, and also with quality. MCom is a general point where after BCom you can do MCom. Certainly it is a differentiator for you, and this can be done along with your job. Say after BCom you are in need of money, you join somewhere. Don't forget it. Don't forget to enhance yourself. MCom, law, maybe some parts of law which you can learn offline are all very good areas to go. For a BCom, I would also say MBA is a good area. Remember, we are all going to get employed by businesses. Out of 100 opportunities which are there, 2 or 3 may be in non-business areas. Even the government is a business. So even a government job requires thought process of how the commerce works. So MBA is a good course. In MBA, there are different types of, there are the top level schools, the SP Jains, the IIMs, the XLRIs, which are top level business schools, but there are lots more. Almost every university has an MBA program. Many of them can be done offline also. For example, even in our ICI, we have one master of businesses certification course is there, which is maybe a 30-day course, which I can do with, which is including theoretical, practical case studies, which can ensure that I get a business outlook better. Law, of course, I've talked. The law has many. As I said, there are so many branches of law. And in US, the number of lawyers is more than the number of chartered accountants. You know that. In India also, of course, we have much more. The point is, law is wherever there is a dispute, whether between the government and the business or between a neighbor, within the family, law is there. And law can be a good area for doing further after you have finished your BCom. I have almost finished my time and I am going to take questions from now on. Maybe Rajgopal may have to help me if I can't see the questions. So you can put your questions in the chat as we are speaking. Otherwise, in the next 5 minutes, I will close anyway. One of the things which is very important today is that the thought of holistic learning. What is this holistic learning? See, most of us spend 90% of our time getting knowledge. But if I spend 90% of my time in knowledge, am I a whole person? Today, anybody who's evaluating, whether your client, if you are in independent practice as a service provider, or your employer, what is he going to look at? He's certainly going to look at knowledge first. What is that depth of knowledge you have? Do you have practical knowledge? Do you have application of that practical knowledge? This is what most of them will look at and give you a weightage around 60. The next very important thing is, what are the skills you have learned? For example, in my biodata, if I have done courses on critical thinking, common sense, problem solving, I can put it in my biodata because that is going to make the difference. Everybody would have been a chartered accountant, but if I have got that critical thinking and I say I've done a course on this and I can solve problems better than a normal chartered accountant, then I'll be preferred. My client will know that this person understands something and has put time and effort to skill himself, upskill himself, get new skills. For example, if I have high level of technical skill, then there is no limit for me as a chartered accountant. Unfortunately, I'm a bit old. My tech savviness is very poor as of now. Who knows? Maybe I'll take up some course. I'm 61, but I can take up some course and improve that. The next very important thing is our attitude. This is where I said working above the line, below the line. Maybe that one thing itself can help you. What is it that attitude is? Many times people say your attitude will determine your altitude. Altitude means height. And for me, I know that if you have the right attitude, you need not even have the knowledge. Just because of your passion, people will take you. Just because of your problem solving type of thought process, people will take you. Just because of your high level of integrity, people will take you. Just because you are so honest, people will take you. In our office, in the last 33 years, we have been in indirect taxes. We have never paid a bribe. I want to repeat it. And remember, it's not only in Bangalore. I am based at Bangalore, but we have 13 other locations in the north of India, west of India, east of India. We are in Calcutta, Guwahati, Raipur, Indore. In none of the places we pay bribe, but we are doing quite well. My partner's age, average age of my partners is just 33, and I am 61. So you should imagine many of them are less than 30 also. But what is it that is differentiating us from everybody around us is that we will not pay bribe. We are focused on knowledge and scaling ourselves. So it's only a matter of time before we will become successful. Any new location, every new location which we have put up, within a year, it is started making profit. And we don't start small organization. We'll take a good place, we'll furnish it well, we will take employees, even though we don't have even one job. But in a year's time, we break even. In 2 years' time, we are doing well. In 3 years' time, we are very comfortable to invest more. Attitude makes a huge difference. One area which I have seen when people go into professional courses, I see that they ignore their health. But remember the very old saying, health is wealth. Well-being, every day you should do exercise. You should do some physical movement in the morning, maybe 20 minutes, fast jogging, maybe skipping, running in the place only, or some vyayam, do some yoga. I do every day. Today morning I got up with a heel pain and a back pain. So instead of waking up at 5:30, I decided that I'll sleep a little more. But after I got up, I went out for a walk, went out for about 1.5 hours walk. I did some stretching, I did some cycling. 40-45 minutes later, I came, had breakfast, and now I'm with you. Idea is, well-being is very important for holistic, either a game or an exercise. Every one of you, boys and girls, teachers, every one of you, it's important. Make it a part of your everyday life. This is where you require to allocate time into it. If I want to skill myself, I can't say I'm so busy, I'm so tired. What is the time you have in the week? Find out. 5 hours you have. Find out a course where 5 hours you can spend. For me, I have never found short of time in the allocation. What is important for you, understand it. Ensure that all 4 are there when you are looking at spending your time in future, while doing BCom, after doing BCom. Allocate the time, 60% of the time for knowledge, well-being 10% of the time. Remember, well-being 10% of the time means how many hours you are awake in a day? 10 hours. So 1 hour for well-being. It can be even for building your mindset. If you are a little older, getting worried, getting anxious, maybe meditation is a way out. Yoga is a way out. Just exercise, play some game, that is a way out. You don't have to go to the gym every time. You can even have a game. There are so many games which you can play. In India, we have hundreds of games which we can play without spending money. This is a PPT which we are going to share with you. This is in case you are going for a job. When you make your resume, this is just one value add I thought I'll leave you with. Your resume should not be very long, number one. Number two, if there is a covering letter, then you should see that your covering letter does not say the same thing as your resume. There should be no repetition. And if, say, you are applying to somebody, you should look at, say, you are applying to a company like Bajaj Auto. What is it that I would do? First, I would find out what is my job, how Bajaj Auto is doing in that area. Say I'm a BCom, I know accounts department is there. I'll go through the financials of Bajaj Auto. I will do a little research on who are the types, how much salary is being paid to the people with BCom original. Later they might have done CA, they might have done MBA. What is the salary they're getting? How many people are there? Are they using technology? I will try and find out how I can be helpful for the potential employer. This is very, very important. In the objective, many of the objectives I have seen in this, when resumes come, they talk about themselves. You should talk about yourself, and how you can be useful to the organization should be there in your objective. Customize it to that particular client or the potential employer. Bajaj Auto, I will look at what is it Bajaj Auto may be looking for accountant. What type of work they require. I will look at that and then make my objective that way. What is it? How is it that I plan to serve them? That is very important. This thought process is not there in 99%. 99% of the resumes say, I have done the following, I have got such large marks, I have done this, all history. 90% of the interviewers will look at it, but they will not give it any importance. They will look at what is it that you can do for them. Your other activities become very important, like your presentation skills, communication skills, as I said, analytical skills. That is what you should put into your resume, what you have done beyond whatever has been taught in your BCom. Whether there are any accomplishments, if you have done a previous job and you are making an application, you should say how you contributed to that enterprise. Not that I did the following, this was my job description. Nobody is interested in a job description. What did you do for that earlier company? What did you do for that client? That is what they are interested. So therefore, I will leave you with this thought. What you can do for the organization to which you are making an application for a career, or that organization is your client. Look at what you can do for them. That's what you should focus on. And then the sky is the limit. I've spoken for about 50 minutes today. Just spend a couple of minutes now. What is it that you have learned today, and note it down in your notebook. What is it I learned today which can ensure that my academics is better? Maybe 2 things you have learned today. What is it that I've learned today where I can grow in my career, though presently I have taken a job because I don't have money or whatever the reason? What is it that I've learned today so that I grow in life? Remember, your career is not your life. Your life is far beyond your career. You may be a small plant presently. Tomorrow you may be a big banyan tree, sheltering thousands of people, hundreds of people, sharing with people, not being bothered about economics because you are so comfortable in life. Thank you very much for patient listening. We have not kept it interactive because it's a short session, but I will answer any of your questions now, which you can post on the chat. You can also, Rajgopal, you can first finish the questions, then you can even open it to them to listen.
Thank you, sir. Anybody has any question to post to the
Anything has
speaker?
been noted?
Yeah.
Any questions on the chat box, you can tell me. I can't see it here.
Yeah, it's not come, sir. No questions yet. If anybody has anything, please. If anybody would directly like to ask, sir, you can just drop that also. If sir,
You can also put up your hand. So,
yeah.
So Rajgopal can, unmute you.
Yes.
You can just put up your hand on in your screen. You have that hand signal. If you click it, he will come to know that you put up your hand, and then he will unmute you. How to increase? Kalia is asking how to increase GST knowledge. One very good resource for all of you is hiregangeacademy.com. Not only for GST, for others. In fact, Rajgopal and his team last year in October, they have made a series of programs which are available for you, videos. I think around 50 to 60 hours video is there on GST basics. Now that law might have changed a little, but if after seeing that, you can also see GST advanced. Again, 60 hours is available. So a lot of time, 120 hours of online free teaching is available. My suggestion is that those who are interested in learning GST, they should buy the latest act and rules and then use this particular free resource which is available to learn from that. So how you have to do? You have to go to hiregangeacademy.com and click that particular session, for example, on classification, if you are doing, then keep your Fair Act open. What is the provision for which impacts classification? What is it that will help me to understand the theory and also understand the practical things which are told in that particular workshop? So this is a 120-hour workshop which is available. We should, Rajgopal, we should do this again now because law has changed. 1 year is up. Maybe you should update both those if it is possible. And if you can send the link of some of the programs we have done recently, which may, I don't know if you have uploaded it. Rajgopal?
But uploaded, sir, uploaded.
So you can look at those. You can probably share with all the participants your link for that GST learning, where all they can learn the latest ones.
Yes.
So one more person has asked another question, but I can't see the question. I know he asked the question. Can you tell me what it is?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I can see it. 1 minute.
Okay.
Can we blend accounting, tax, financial services as a tax consultant? Certainly. In fact, in all the small cities of India, you cannot have only specialization. Certainly, you can do accounting, tax, and financial services. And financial services are also good. Don't become a broker, bribing the bank officers and all that. Don't get into those. Even if you don't get work in that, it's okay. Learn how you can. Today, new age industries. I think some of you who see TV might have seen Shark Tank India is starting in India. There used to be a Shark Tank where people with good ideas can go before a panel and they will get 50 lakhs, 1 crore funding for 10%, 20% of their business in future. So there are lots of things which are available in financial services. Huge area because everybody requires wealth. Either people have more wealth or they have less wealth. The people who have more wealth want to invest properly. People who need money for starting something are looking at cheap and the best, funding. So certainly you can blend accounting, tax and financial services as a tax consultant. But if you want to be recognized throughout your state, throughout India, throughout the world, then you may have to pick up one area as a super specialization. Only then you can rise in perception. But for making a living, there are a lot of people, there may be about 5 lakh people who are doing this, accounting, tax, financial services, filing returns, etc. More than 5 lakh people are there in India who are doing. The ones who give value will get paid more. The ones who just do their normal job of just doing their basic compliance, they will earn less. So Swami, certainly you can do it. These are the two questions. Kalia, is my explanation good enough for you to increase your knowledge? There are also some videos in Academy on how to learn GST. Those of you who are already in practice, there is a series on hiregange.com in the empowerment section segment where I have put about 14, 15 articles and how to grow your practice, how to start and grow your practice. Series of articles is there. There are also large amount of videos I have put up. I am not the only person who's doing this. Many people do it, so you can look at it.
Thank you, sir. Any other question? Any other question that you'd like to address? You'd like to ask him directly? You can raise your hands, drop a message. If you'd like to share anything about what happened today, what you gathered from today's interaction is also welcome.
You can also put what you want to learn in future.
Yeah.
This is a 1 hour, this is about a 75-minute lecture and 15 minutes question answer. What is it that you want us to do in future? What you want Rajgopal to do? What you want me to do? If you can even mail us anytime, we would be very happy to look at what you have said, and if it is something which is, useful for everybody, we would be very happy to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think if Rajgopal, there is nothing, then would like to thank everybody for joining us and hope that it was useful for all of you. Have a wonderful month end and a very learning, I would say, empowered and joyous 2022. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Rajgopal.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank you on behalf of all the participants who are here today. And on the behalf of the Academy too, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks for this
Thank you.
interactive session.
Thank you.
We wish you all a very happy new year, a very Merry Christmas. And like Sir suggested, may this year be full of learning and empowerment for all of you all. Thank you so much and all the best.